Hello friends, welcome back to another video. My name is Laura and today we're talking about books. Yeah! This is the mid-year freak out book tag reading something or other. I'm really good at this, guys. Saw it on a couple of booktubers YouTube channel and I thought, hey, that's a fun thing to do because I do love talking about my books, and rather than me trying to just list off the books I'm reading, which I'm probably gonna do anyway at the end of the year, I'll answer some questions. So let's just jump right into it. First one is, so far, the best book you've read in 2022. And that might surprise some of you all, or might not, but that is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Ready Player One, I had been wanting to read this book for so long. I was scared of reading it because of all the references in it, and I knew that I wouldn't pick up on all the references, like all the video game references and everything, but it actually was it was a lot easier to follow than I had thought. I understood most of the references. I think I only had to Google a couple of them or ask Cameron, the resident nerd of this household, a couple of the video game questions, but I understood a whole lot more references than I thought. Actually, when I finished this book is when the gas prices went up, Meta is being introduced as virtual reality. As I was reading this book, I was like, this is too real. So in this world, gas prices got way too high. People stopped being able to afford anything. And it's just, the whole world turns into a dystopia, and the people of the world connect with one another and disconnect from the real world through virtual reality. And the whole thing is a game set up by the person who created this virtual reality. When they died, they had basically a treasure hunt to inherit his fortune kind of thing. It's really good and a little too real, but I actually really enjoyed it more than I thought. I think I'm gonna I'm gonna read Ready Player 2 eventually. Next question. Best sequel you've read so far in 2022. If you know me and like my reading style, I cannot do series. I can't do more than 3 books in a series. I never finished Harry Potter. What are the other ones? All the other ones I never did. But if you remember at the end of last year, I read Six of Crows, and it's a heist book set in a magical world, and the aesthetic is very like early 1900s, and it's just beautiful. Well, I read the second one, and that's it. It's just a duology, which is perfect for me, and I think that's why I love it so much. Six of Crows was my favorite last year. The sequel, Crooked Kingdom, is so good. Again, it's a continuation of that heist story. It definitely leaves you off on a cliffhanger at the end of Six of Crows. So I didn't pick this one up right away. I did read 1, 2, 3 books in between, just because I would have gotten way bored of it if it would have been all in one. So Crooked Kingdom, highly recommend. Of course, read Six of Crows first. Next. Oh, by Leigh Bardugo. It's by Leigh Bardugo. I'm trying to say the authors here. New release you haven't read yet but want to. One book that is on my list that is a new release is Book Lovers. It's a romance and it's about book lovers, I guess? I don't know, but I want to read it. That's all. And it was released this year, so I did look that up. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't plan that far ahead. If you know any books that are going to be released this year that you think I should read, let me know down in the comments below. Thanks. Okay, next question. Biggest disappointment. That one's gonna be The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. I listened to this book. I had a lot of expectations of witchcraft and powerful women, and was not quite what I expected, and it was just disappointing. One sec. The Ex-Hex is about a girl named Vivian. She's a witch. Her and her boyfriend broke up 9 years ago, and she was kind of playing around and cast a curse on him, and it all comes back 9 years later. He has to come back to their town for a ceremony because his family is really powerful. I just was expecting a lot more out of the magic, the love story, and I don't know, I just was expecting more, and it was is what it was. So that is that on that. Biggest surprise, this one is Everything by Nicola Yoon. It was literally a surprise because, like I said, my friend Mia, who is moving away, sadly, but also very excited for them. Anyways, since they're moving, they gave Cameron and I a lot of their books. Thank you so much. She had sent me pictures of some books and I picked them out, and then she just kind of threw this one in there. And I had just finished a long book, was looking for a quick read. This looked like a quick read because there's lots of like drawings and stuff in it. So I was like, oh, I'll read it. It's so cute. It's about Madeline, who is sick. She's allergic to the world, basically. So she has never left her house. And then her cute neighbor moves in next door, and of course their little windows face each other, and so they like fall in love, and she's like, do I risk leaving my house to live, or to like live a life, or do I stay in my house and live a life stuck in my house? So it was super sweet, such a good book, a little predictable, but that's totally, it does not matter. I don't mind predictability. It was still a super cute book. And it's, like I said, told in first person. So it's told in first person from, I don't know, she's maybe 17 or 18, I think. Young romance, super cute. Next question. Favorite new author, either debut or new to me. That is going to be, oh shoot, I had it up and then I had to look up it exact. Is going to be Angeline Boulley. Or Bow, I think it's Boulley, Boulley. She wrote The Firekeeper's Daughter. That's a good book. You need to listen to that book or read it. I did, and it's so good. It's about Danny, who is she's biracial. She's an unenrolled tribal member. Did I say Danny? I meant Danny's a different book I read. Donis. So sorry. Donis is biracial. She's an unenrolled tribal member, and I think her mom's side was French. So she doesn't quite fit into either world, and it just kind of follows her dreams get put on hold because her grandmother is really, really sick. And her family's just kind of falling apart. She meets this new guy on their hockey team, on her brother's hockey team. But then Donis witnesses a murder, and it all kind of goes from there. It's so good. I learned so much about Native cultures, both in America and Canada. It's really good. I learned all about enrolled versus unenrolled tribal members. And then of course there's crime involved. So yeah, it's Firekeeper's Daughter, and Angeline Boulley is the author of that, and I highly, highly recommend it. Newest fictional crush. I think this is gonna be Graham from The Tourist Attraction by Sarah Morgenthaler. That's a cute book. It's set in Alaska. Graham is a very Luke Danes from the Gilmore Girls type. He's just like rough and rugged, but like just a big softies. And so The Tourist Attraction is set in Moose Springs, Alaska. Zoe is visiting Alaska. It is on her bucket list to go there. She stays in this small town called Moose Springs, meets Graham, boy meets girl, girl's on vacation for 2 weeks. What the heck are they gonna do? That's Tourist Attraction. Newest favorite character. That's gonna be Claire in Parachutes by Kelly Yang. Tess got me this book. Actually, I don't know if she gave it to me or if I borrowed it. She'll be here in a few days, doesn't matter. So Parachutes is about a community of Chinese immigrants in Southern California who call themselves the Parachutes because they're basically dropped off to study in the United States while their wealthy parents remain in Asia. Claire is one of those students, and she ends up living her host family, Danny. I think this is the one that's Danny. Yeah, her host family has Danny, who is her age. Claire comes from a really, really rich family in China. Danny's lives with her single mom, and they struggle to make ends meet, and that's why they bring in Claire, because of it gives them a little extra income. And it's just their dynamic between the two girls is really interesting. Claire is such a strong character. A lot of times the wealthy girl is just, you know, like, I'm wealthy. Claire is a strong character. She stands up for herself. Danny too. Actually, Danny stands up for others. She has a hard time standing up for herself. Danny's there for other people. Claire is, they're just both very strong women, and I'm here for that. So that's favorite character. Book that made you cry. Okay. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. Here's the thing, it did not make me cry because for reasons that you might think. It made me cry out of frustration for the main character in the book. It's set in the early 80s, I believe, and it's this book club. There's Southern ladies, there's like 5 of them in this book club. Vampire appears, and what are they gonna do? That's basically the overall theme of this book. The main woman, Patricia, is the one who witnesses everything. No one believes her, and they're all she gets like gaslit by a group of people, and it made me so mad that I cried. So that's that. A very interesting book. It's weird. It's graphic. It was a lot more gory than I expected it to be. Also funny at the same time. Interesting. I'll just say it's an interesting read. Book that made you happy. That's gonna be Baker's Magic by Diane Zoller. This one's really cute. It's just a magical story about this girl who has the magic, the power to affect people's mood by her baking. So if she's baking cookies and she's angry about something, anyone who eats those cookies is angry. I listened to this one, and the way it was told, the audio that was in it, the music that was in it was very, I don't know how to explain the music, but it was very old, and it was just so cozy. She has to deliver cookies to the princess, who is basically like a damsel in distress, almost living in her own castle. The king is not there. King isn't there at all, so the uncle has taken over, and he's really mean to her, and I can't remember why, but they believe that the king is alive somewhere, so they go on this adventure. The baker and the princess and one of their friends goes on this adventure to find the king, and it was just so wholesome and cute, and it just made me happy. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. I have 2 options. I would say Firekeeper's Daughter, just that cover is so beautiful. So beautiful. I love that cover. And also, I haven't read this book yet, but I did get this in a previous vlog, a couple of vlogs ago, The Inheritance Games. It might be kind of hard to see, but it's also super pretty. I love the green. I love the shiny. Yeah, and if you want to know what this is about, check out that video because I had a hard time explaining that one too. Okay, next. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? I'm not the type of person that like needs to read anything, but I'll tell you my next few plans. I did get that Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clark. If I could read this by the end of the year, I'd be very surprised. So like, this isn't like, I don't like putting needs onto my reading because then I won't want to do it. I just have to like want to do it. So I would like to finish this book. It is 846 pages of small print. So I would like to finish this. I haven't started it, but I would like to read this by the end of the year. So that is, I guess, my plan. Yeah. And then the last question is favorite book community member. I think we all know my answer to this. It's Miss Sherry Beth. Check her out on Leg Life. I don't know why I did this. I don't have anything to put here, but check her out. I'll put her Instagram here. Sherry does have a book Instagram called Sherry's Bookshelf. So make sure to check that out because she tells you all about her books that she's reading and reviews and things like that. I trust her wholeheartedly with any recommendations she gives me. Ready Player One, she didn't explicitly give me, but she did read it and she liked it, and I thought, well, if Sherry can read it, I can read it. So you don't know that, Sherry, but thanks. The Tourist Attraction, obviously. Again, she just mentioned that in a video. Oh, and then she and I talked about there are sequels and novellas of the tourist attractions, so she and I had discussions about that, and I'm really excited to read them. I don't think I have any other from her this year. Last year, of course, there's the selection series that she did recommend, and I love the selection. If you haven't read the selection, check that out. It's like The Bachelorette plus Hunger Games plus YA, so make sure to check that out. But I wholeheartedly trust her with book recommendations, so make sure to check her out on Instagram. Anyways, that's gonna be it. I have to go pick up Cameron from work. I'm not late. Good. All right, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff, and we'll see ya in the next one. Bye. That one was going to be the X-Hex by Erin Sterling. This is my fatal flaw of not remembering what books are about once I finish them. It's told in first person. Again, I don't remember the names of people. Madeline. So the tourist attraction is set in Moose Springs, Alaska. It's about, did I say Grant? I meant Graham. This is how, okay, start that over. Newest favorite character. That's going to be